Hey y'all, welcome back to Through with a Splash of Tea, a podcast where we either speak to brilliant people, do this thing one-on-one, or have best friend chats with my best friend T. I'm your host, Cass, and let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about boys. Okay, so specifically I want to talk about potential. I want to talk about the potential that we see in people that sometimes doesn't align with exactly who they are. And we see that potential because that's who we want them to be. But that's not enough. Like they have to want to be that too. And a lot of the times we don't get that. So first things first, and this specifically is in the sense of like your spouse, your significant other. So that's why I started it off by saying I want to talk about boys, because I want to talk about it in that sense. Like a lot of the times we're in these situationships where we know it doesn't align with the future that I want, but I'm going to keep this person around because they're comfortable, they feel good, all that stuff. So this isn't going to be like, leave that person, it's time for you to go. No, when it's time for you to go, you will know. This is going to be specifically about the potential that you see in that person. So first things first, potential isn't always bad. Like it's not always a bad thing, because sometimes you need that. Like sometimes you don't see it in yourself. Sometimes you're like, no, I don't know. Like, I don't know about this one. And your person is like, nah, like I know, and you got it. And you need that reminder. So it's not always a bad thing. And a lot of the time somebody seeing potential in you to be able to do something will push you or motivate you to do it, because not only will they see something in you that you have like forgotten to see in yourself, but sometimes they see something in you that you didn't even know that you had in you. You're like, oh shoot, that actually makes sense. And that's because that person saw that potential in you. So even if it is starts off as a situationship, but if you see the potential in somebody and express that to them, and they start to walk in that path, or they start to be like, oh, that's actually true, let me try that out, then continue to do that and see if that's something that they continue to listen to, adhere to, make changes about. And if that's the case, then you guys can continue to do that for one another. Where the problem lies, my friend, is a lot of the times we will see potential in somebody that they have no interest in taking advantage of. For example, your boyfriend loves golf. He loves golf. He will organize his entire Sunday around golf. But not only that, he will organize his entire like golf day as well. Like what's going to happen at the country club, who's coming with him, what he's bringing to putt with, all that stuff. He loves it so much that Sunday organization is actually something that he likes to do. So you see him organizing his golf schedule on Sundays or for Sundays, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, my man loves to organize. Like, yeah, like when we settle down, he'll be the organizer, or he'll help me organize things, da da da. And you're creating this version of this man that has no alignment with who this man is. Just because, he might like to organize golf, but that does not mean that he'll like to organize the kids' activities with you, or vacations with you, and that's somebody that you really want. And this man, because he wants to organize his golf trip with his buddies, you think he's going to organize the Disney trip with your 3 kids screaming and crying and yelling? Baby. Okay. Okay. Let me just drink my little water. Try and get my little water brand deal. Oh, by the way, if you think, like, y'all, let me know if you know what water, if you're a water connoisseur, let me know if you know what water this is. Let me know if you don't know what water this is. I took off the label for obvious reasons, but let me know if you know what water that is, because it is the best water. The best water. And it's the only water you'll catch on this podcast. Well, that's with an asterisk. That's with an asterisk. Anyways, a lot of the times we'll fall in love with the potential of a man, and that is not who that man really is, or even who that man is willing to become. If he's willing to become that, great. Lauren, great. If you tell this man, like, oh, I would really love it if you like wore black turtlenecks in the fall, like that's really my vibe, and he tries on a black turtleneck and he continues to wear a black turtleneck in the fall, okay, that man, okay, he has the potential to he has the potential to wear what you want him to wear. That's such an on the surface topic. I'm sorry. Let me talk about something that matters. If you talk to, like, you're a business person and you love business and you talk to this man that you're with about business all the time, and he talks about a business that he'd like to open up and all this stuff, and you guys talk about next steps, like you guys have one of those deep conversations, like late night deep, like really talk about next steps and what he wants, and you're like, yes, this is so good, like he's really making a plan for himself, like he hasn't done this before and that's what I'm really interested in, like you're all about all that. And weeks go by and he hasn't done anything about it, and maybe you've told him once or twice, like, hey, what about that, or what about the business that we talked about, da da da, and he hasn't done nothing about it, and you're like, okay, well, if he just did that, then he would be perfect, like things would skyrocket, he would fall in love with it, he'd become that businessman that I really want. And you're sticking around for him to just do that next step, and it's been weeks and weeks, and then they turn into months and months, and then it turns into years and years, and that next step still hasn't happened yet. Baby, we've fallen deep in love with that potential that has no alignment with the man that you have put in that spot. Aaron, if you texted her and she don't respond, and you just want her to be that wife that you see yourself with in the next 10 years, raising your babies at home, wearing a dress, making a pie, and she doesn't really answer your text messages, but when she do reach out to you, you guys have funny conversations that often lead to you sending her some type of money, but the conversations are still funny and she could potentially be your wife if she just took those steps towards the potential you know that she has. And it's been weeks and weeks and months and years and dollars and dollars and dollars later. Aaron, we have fallen in love deeply with the potential. It's just, and I'm not saying it's easy to fall out of, you guys. I'm saying that realizing it is the first step, but that's not where you stop. You don't stop it as, okay, yeah, I've realized that this isn't the person for me. They don't really like the same things that I like when it comes to like deep conversation or real conversation. The on the surface, the laughing, yeah, that's all cool and dandy, but when it comes to the future that I want, this person doesn't really want the same things. When you have that realization with yourself and then you continue to stay in that relationship or in that oftentimes situationship, you're just doing yourself a disservice. And I know that people already know this. Like, I know that a lot of the times people already know this, but before you get to that point of knowing, there's oftentimes a point of not knowing. And if you haven't reached that point of knowing yet, this is your sign to act on what you already know. Act on the fact that you know that you have maybe fallen for this person's potential, and that's not who the person really is. And that's okay. That's okay. And that means that person is not your person, and that is okay, because you know what that means? That just means that you should be free to leave this, whatever you're in, and go find your person, and allow that person the freedom to go find their person. Allow that person the freedom to go find their person. That's what that means. But that starts with acting on the realization that I have fallen with this. I have fallen for this person's potential and not necessarily who this person is or who they're willing to become. And sometimes we're like, okay, well, maybe this isn't really talking up to me because, yeah, I do like this person's potential, but this person that I like, John that I like, he really is willing to become this guy. Like, John just needs a little bit more time. John just needs a little bit more time. Or Ashley just needs a little bit more time. Ashley can become my wife. Like, Ashley can become the woman of my dreams. She already has the looks that I want. We already share the same sense of humor, which is immaculate. Like, but it's just certain things that she needs to work on that she can work on after these 7 years that we've already been together. Okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe John and Ashley can align with the person that you're looking for them to be. If that is the case, I want you to take an inventory of the major red flags that you have in your brain in regards to that person, in regards to John, in regards to Ashley. I want you to take an inventory of those red flags and really ask yourself, do you see John and Ashley making those changes in the future? If the answer is yes, then have an open conversation with John and Ashley and be like, this is the XYZ. No. Have an have an open conversation with John and Ashley and be like, this is what I'd like for my future. These are the red flags that I have been able to think about when really, really considering our relationship, our situationship. And these are changes that I would need implemented in order to get to the future that I want with you, because I want that future with you. If they're like, yeah, I'm not willing to make these changes, right then and there, they've told you that they're not willing to become the person that you want them to be. If they're like, oh yeah, I can definitely make these changes, like I'm willing to do that, and nothing actually changes, baby, they're showing you that they're not willing to become the person that you want them to be. If they say, yeah, and they make some of the changes on that list, then you got something to work on. Then you have a platform to stand on. All that needed to really happen is you just be direct. And once you were direct, you were able to get that person to move on the potential that you see them already having. So you can work on that. You can still work on that. It's just really, really, really important for us to not only realize when you're in a situation where you have fallen for someone's potential, but also act on that realization. Okay, what am I going to do next? Am I willing to sacrifice my future, the future that I want, to hang out longer with this person? Hang out sounds so childish, but that is what we're doing. We're hanging out down the street. What song is that? What show opening is that? What show's opening song is that? Hanging out. Oh my goodness, you should know. Okay, sorry, I digress. My brain is like a goldfish. Yeah, I really wanted, long story short, ladies and gentlemen, we have so much value that we often don't realize. And we, a lot of the time, sell ourselves short. And in the arena that we constantly sell ourselves short with or in is the relationship arena. And I don't like that. I've done that. I've been in that space. I have left that space. And I now realize that everyone is valued more greatly than they often think that they are. And because of that, you deserve somebody that aligns with your value, somebody that aligns with the future that you want, the future that you're willing to work for. I think everyone deserves what they're willing to work for. If you're willing to work for it, then I think you deserve it. And a lot of people are like, just being willing to work for it isn't enough. In my book, it is. Because as long as you're willing to work, as long as you're willing to keep going and work, then you deserve that. Yeah, you got, because you're going to be put to the test. If you say you're willing to work for it and you really aren't, you're going to be put to the test. We're going to find out. So I think you deserve what you're willing to work for, and you should be willing to work for the future relationship that you want. Absolutely. Because like your romantic relationship is going to be your most important relationship in your life. The person you lay down next to at night, the person that you pillow talk with, oh yeah. That is third, because the relationship with God, the relationship with yourself, and then the relationship with your spouse. So, but number 3 is that's the first external, that's the number, in my book, that's the number 1 external relationship you have, your spouse, the person that you lay down with. So if you want a future lifestyle where you guys are traveling the world, no kids, and have apartments in major cities all over the country, and the person that you're spending nights with wants a white picket fence in Connecticut, in a backyard, and a dog, and 4 kids, what are we doing? what are we doing? And they're like, yeah, I love to travel. I love to travel. So maybe I don't need kids. Like maybe I can be a nomad and maybe I can have the future that you want. But they're still doing everything towards that white picket fence future. We've fallen deeply for we're in the trenches of potential. We are in the trenches of potential and so outside of reality, baby. But we could just be hanging out. Maybe you're just hanging out. But if you are just hanging out and like, yo, I don't need somebody with the same future as me. I'm young. I'm kicking it. I'm thriving. Like, I just want to hang out. Like, just have a good time. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. If that is what you're looking for and looking to do, which I don't think that's bad, like, do that. Live your best life. Just make sure that that person knows that. Don't have that person thinking that you're about to walk down the aisle with them in 2 years and really you're just having a good time and are about to leave this relationship in the next year. Like just make sure that that person knows what you're looking for, you know, or what you're looking to do. And what you're looking to do isn't bad. Live your life, but just make sure you're being 100% on it. So yeah, I want to wrap up by saying it is so important to just have that conversation with yourself. And I know it's a tough one. I know it's very difficult to have these conversations, these open eye conversations, like, yo, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we really doing? Are we just hanging out with people or are we trying to really get somewhere? And that's tough. That's tough. And I realize that, but that's why sometimes you need to hear it. And I'm here to let you know. And these are conversations that I've had with myself, you guys. So I know, like, this is hard. What are we talking about? To sit there and speak to yourself about the fact that you've fallen for this person because they make you laugh in like the same movies that you do, but you know the foundation of this relationship is like mud. Like, we're standing on quicksand. And I'm gonna keep standing here because we like the same Adam Sandler movies. I laugh because it's so dumb. Like, Cass, like, are we dumb? Like, we're not. We're not. So why were we acting so dumb? Okay, oh my goodness, I want to talk about this. Okay. Oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. Okay. So it's still about potential. I promise, but I want to talk about this and I've been wanting to talk about this. So this is the perfect time. So recently on TikTok, if you are so first of all, I've recently realized like the TikTok multiverses, it's like when people have conversations about what they watch on TikTok, sometimes I'll be like, huh? And then I'll ask my friends, I'll be like, did you come across the stuffed chocolate bar TikTok? Like, has that been all over your For You page? And my friends will be like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh my goodness, TikTok has so many different universes. It's so crazy. But anyways, if you're on Talitha Jane TikTok, you know Talitha Jane TikTok? Every now and then people start dragging. It's this young girl. She's in fashion and beauty. She's a fashion and beauty person, blogger. I think, she's a fashion and beauty blogger. But she also like talks about her life. And obviously people drag her. She's a young girl, but obviously people drag her because that's what people love to do on the internet. So she recently earlier this year, she moved to Houston and she like recently released this video explaining how she moved out there for a man. She put that sentence in the video. And what ended up being the case is she didn't move out there for a man. She had a situationship, a long-term situationship that she was dealing with this man. And he had told her like, hey, I'm moving to Houston. If you were in the same space as me, if you were in Houston as well, like things would be easier. He ended up moving and she knew that she needed to leave her parents' house and she knew that she needed to like start fresh. So that start fresh happened to be Houston. So she moved to Houston and they actually started like a relationship. Like they actually started a relationship and then they ended up breaking up. That's what really happened. And people are dragging her, all this stuff, Like this young girl, people, on the internet, it's so crazy because people act like they've never done anything dumb. They've never, not even dumb, like they've never made a mistake. On the internet, you would think that you're the only one who's ever in life made a mistake. And it's so crazy to me because I'm like, sometimes I be in these comments, reading these comments, and I'm like, bro, like, hold on, like, I know you. I know you in real life. So how are you? I know you in real life. So how are you in the shade room talking crazy about this situation? Because I know the situations you've been in life. Yeah, you grew from those situations. So this is the situation that this person's in, and they will in the future grow from. Like, duh. Like, whatever. Anyways. So people are dragging her about this, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I'm watching these videos that people are making in commenting about the video that she made about her moves to Houston. And this guy says, I followed his video, and he says, oh, it's so beautiful. Because she talks about this year, Talitha is very much on a faith journey that she's like let the world know about as well, and obviously people use that to drag her. But this guy said, because a lot of people were like, oh, you're putting all your faith in men. She puts a lot of her faith in men. Like, she relies a lot on men, but she's talking about how she loves God, like, which is it, da, da, da. And this guy made a video, and he said, a lot of the times you are putting your faith in your God and relying deeply in your God and moving forward in your God and doing your best to move in alignment with your God, but not realizing that that God of yours is that man. That God of yours is that job. That God of yours is that woman. So the problem becomes, now your God isn't truly what it has been or it should be. Your God isn't focused on moving morally correct. Your God isn't aligned with love and deeply rooted in love. Your God is deeply rooted in this man. Your God is deeply rooted in that woman. So how you're moving, it's not like I'm moving incorrectly or not aligned with God. Your God isn't right in that moment. Your God needs to, like, you need an audit of God, of who your God is in that season. Because sometimes we're so deeply entrenched in something that we don't realize what you're putting all your eggs in and what you're putting your focus on is incorrect. Like, where you're headed is incorrect because you're doing, like, the root is incorrect. The root is incorrect because your God needs to be like love. Like, that's what it needs to be. Moving in a facet of love, in the direction towards love, in the direction towards love. That's literally it. God is love. So that needs to be the root. But sometimes we get so focused on this worldly, materialistic stuff. Oh my goodness, it's getting so preachy. This will be the end of it. Sometimes we get so focused. Sometimes we get so focused on this material stuff or these worldly things, like that man, that it would just be so perfect if he just did this, or if he just realized that becomes your God, and that becomes what you're working towards. And it's like, whoa, baby, like, no, like, we have to zoom out. We just have to zoom out. And that zoom out allows you to be like, whew, nah, So when he said that sometimes your God is that man, or sometimes your God is that thing, that materialistic thing, you guys, when I tell you it slapped me in the face, because I literally have been in past situations where I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? I just need this job. I just need this job. I just need this job. Why isn't this working? And it wasn't working because I was so focused on that job that I had made that job my God. And it's like, bro, no. Like, God always has to stay what it is. Like, that can't shift. That can't move. That can't change for nothing. Not for the job. Not for the agent that you want to call you, not for the husband, not for the boy, not for nothing. It needs to, like, God needs to stay what it is, because that is the foundation of the moral compass. And once you start to fluctuate that, things start to just fall out of whack. Things start to fall out of whack. So I say that to say, sometimes we'll push that potential that we see in that person into that godly space, into that, okay, this is the goal, this is the goal, this is the goal. For this person to become this version of himself, that is the goal. But it's like, no. The goal is for you to find somebody that aligns with the future that you want, because the future that you want aligns with what God sees for you. Like, that is the goal. So it might not be that person, and that's okay. It might not be that person. So you shoving this potential down that person's throat, and for you to only be upset because they can't meet that for you, is only going to upset you and nobody, and most likely them. They're gonna get to a point of being like, bro, that's not me. Like, it's take me as I am or I'm all set. And they have every right to say that. Because you see this potential, you're forcing them to become this person, or try and become this person, and they don't want to be that person. They don't want to be that person. Allow them to be who they are, and if that doesn't work for you, then keep it pushing. That's all. But you don't have to do that today. That's not me telling you to do that today. That's me telling you to do that whenever you're ready. But I understand the first step is realizing that you've fallen for the potential, but there are steps after that. Realizing it isn't enough. There are steps after that that you needed, that I advise you to take in order for you to stop wasting your time and stop wasting their time. And yeah. So that's the conversation on potential that I wanted to have today, you guys. That was a good one. I really, really wanted to talk about the God thing, because like when he said that on TikTok, I was like, oh, like, I have done that before. I have put certain things in like in the God realm. Like, this is what I'm working so hard for. And it's like, Cass, no, you're not working so hard for that. You're working so hard to be the version of you that God wants. So sometimes maybe it's not that job. But it's okay. Like, stop trying to push something that's not really for you. Stop. And that's what we do when we try and, because we've created this version of this person, because of the potential that we see, we try and push them into that mold. And it's like, bro, get your hands off my back. Get your hands off my back. Stop pushing me. I don't want to be that person. Cut it out. Yeah, yesterday she dropped off some cookies and I tried them, and so good. So we're going to talk about some. I still left some. She dropped mad cookies off, different flavors. So we're going to try some real quick. I'm going to show you guys them. And yeah, okay. I have them here on my little desk. So you won't be able to see them if you are listening, but I'll explain them. I'm a cookie connoisseur. Okay. So I used to be president of my local Big Black Brigade in my area. I'm still part of the brigade, but I'm no longer president. I've been dropped down a few notches, which I tried to fight to stay. I'm actually still fighting to stay there because of the amount of weight that I've currently gained is disgusting. Okay, stop. Okay, what I say all that to say, there are certain things that I'm a connoisseur about. Pizza, cookies, cake, cupcakes. Like, there are certain things that Cass knows about. Tiramisu, oh, I love tres leches cake. Okay, I digress. Cookies are one of them. So I'm going to explain this as best as I can for those listening. And then if you're watching, like, we have the cookies. We have them right here. Okay, so they're packaged beautifully. They smell so good. Okay, I am first going to, tell you guys a little bit about her company first. So I'm going to tag them, obviously, but it's made by Ovenly. That's the name of the company. So a lot of you guys probably already follow her. If you don't, what are you waiting on? The name of the company, again, is Made by Ovenly, but I'm going to tag her socials in the description of this. The reason that I read it so slowly when I started is because I was going to go right into like the motto underneath, but it just makes me laugh. Because I didn't know, okay, I'm not a great friend. I didn't know, like, I knew that she had a company, but I didn't know that this was her motto. But, like, because I know Tamara, I just, girl, she's so nasty. Okay. Made by Ovenly for serious cookie munchers. Tamara, I love it so much. Oh my goodness. Okay, again, I'm gonna tag her. I'm gonna tag her socials and her emails and her email in the description below. But for serious cookie munchers is amazing. Like, what are we talking about? Okay, let me read the little card. And then get into like what we really want. Like, let's talk about these cookies and try them. Congratulations on launching your podcast. Oh my God, I cannot read today. Congratulations on launching your podcast. Wishing you great success with it. Enjoy the cookies. Chocolate chip, coconut pineapple. I didn't even know. Chocolate chip, coconut pineapple, snickerdoodle, funfetti, pistachio, strawberry, white chocolate chip. Those are all the flavors that she included in this bag. And there's like multiple of certain flavors. Okay, so I'm going to start with the original chocolate chip because who doesn't love a chocolate chip cookie? Okay, so these cookies are very dense. Not everybody loves a dense, I'm going to try and focus it on the camera. I think it's focused. Not everybody loves a dense cookie or a dense dessert. I love dense desserts. So like it was perfect for me. They're very dense. And another thing is they're very sweet. Like if you don't like super sweet desserts, this might not be for you, but I love a sweet dessert. Like, oh, they're moist. Oh, just mom, just. Yeah, If you're a serious cookie muncher, yeah. And like I said, she ships so good. I'm going to also do the pistachio, which I like. I'm going to show you guys that. I'm not going to bite all these because this is turning kind of mukbangy, but I hope it's focusing. I can't see it. I have my glasses on, but yeah, they're very sweet. And they're very dense, but they're not, okay, not very sweet, like too sweet. They're not too sweet. They don't go overboard, but they are sweet cookies. Like if you don't like your cookies like sweet, then these aren't for you. But I think they're perfect for like parties. Like she does a lot of party platters, which I love. Like you'll see on Instagram that she does some really good party situations. I'm going to do snickerdoodle and I'm going to do, the strawberry white chocolate chip. The strawberry white chocolate chip was my mom's favorite, but like, look at that. Oh my goodness, I should have. But like, yeah, I'm making a mess. Very nice. Very, like I said, very dense. So good. So many different flavors. Like I didn't even know she had all these flavors to offer. And then snickerdoodle is my absolute favorite cookie. So, oh my gosh. Like, if you listen to this podcast, this is the episode that you need to watch. Like, you just need to see these cookies because they're so good. Like, order them for like a party. Like, this is what I'm thinking about. Like, parties, yeah, this is perfect. So, Made by Ovenly for serious cookie munchers. You need to check her. Oh my God. Oh my God. You need to check her out. Her name is Tamara. She's a mom of 3 girls. She's definitely a girl mom. If you are, because I feel like this is like a tribe. I feel like a lot of industries have their spousal tribes. If you're, if you're a, what is it called? If you're a car industry spouse, she's one of those, so she gets it. Like basically if you never see your husband, Tamara gets it. Like no, but these cookies are really good, you guys, so check them out. Check it out on socials. Thank you so much, Tamara. If y'all want to send me stuff and have me try them and stuff, I'm so down for that. I'll be honest with you guys though, like if the product isn't good, I'm gonna let you know that. But these I actually really like, and I told you guys they're super sweet. Like I'm gonna be honest. But if you're gonna send me stuff, just let me know, email me, and I'll send you like an address and stuff. But anyways, check out Made by Ovenly. It's so good. Like I said, I'm gonna tag everything. Thank you so much for listening to this episode about potential. and about everything that you deserve. I'm going to see if my mama wants some of these cookies and eat some more cookies. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day. Cass is out. Bye.